Hi, I'm Melody, and I've been having a hard time finishing illustrations lately. As I was grumbling about it, I tried to understand what was so difficult for me, and then I realized I was having peur de la page blanche, which can be translated to Artblock, but in this case, I wasn't able to take a fresh new piece of paper to draw a polished illustration. Unlike other times, I was sketching on my tiny pocket book I carry around. I would draw dozens of sketches and thumbnails of my ideas, and so I think that's why I didn't realize it was necessarily an art block before, because to me an art block is when I cannot draw and I won't draw, and I would have no idea what I can draw, no inspiration. This time I had inspiration, I drew. It's just that I only sketched, not anything more. Before I realized this could be an art block, I checked videos online to find tips and tricks, but what popped up was mainly tutorials on rendering or like how to finish an illustration, how to make it look finished, not about the process of doing it from A to Z. That's when I was thinking, okay, maybe this is an art block, so I looked it up. Videos I found were often centered around not being able to draw, feeling uninspired, like I said, not really about not finishing a project. The closest they were talking about was maybe choice paralysis, but in my case, it was not because I had too many ideas that I would not put on paper, but never going a step further. In French videos, they were also talking about creating a physical space or a mental state in which you can create. And that's when it struck me that I always had difficulties having a set time, a set place to create, taking the time for myself to draw. And the thing is, usually when you watch videos, they would say, okay, well, take 20 minutes to draw, do this kind of exercise every day, and that's useful. And actually, there's no secret. In order to finish an illustration, you need to do it. But this works well when you have a schedule that is somewhat stable. My schedule tends to change every week and every day. The only thing that would work is a sequence of actions. If I have the order of things in mind, then I can choose, okay, so maybe after I do this, I can do that. Or what worked well for me also was saying, okay, so today I have this and that to do from this time to this time. I know that I have free time here and there, so maybe I can draw for 1 hour, 2 hours today, or during the week I'm gonna draw 4 hours, and this way I could take free time I have, and if it's 15 minutes I can draw 15 minutes, and if I draw 15 minutes 4 times a day, then I drew 1 hour, even if it's not 1 hour straight. Anyways, my point is, some tips are relevant to certain contexts or lifestyles, and this context or lifestyle is what usually is considered a standard way of living, or like the basic expectations you could have, without really considering or questioning that it does not apply to everyone or every situation. An easy way to understand that is that you can have an IKEA furniture, like, they are standardized. It looks well in modern flats because you have square rooms, so you can put it wherever you want, the size fits and everything. But let's say now you are living in an old apartment and you have curved walls. You can have your IKEA furniture, but it will not fit. You can put it there, but it's going to be a waste of space. It's not going to work. Maybe it's not the right size. And so if you want to have your IKEA furniture in this space, you need to alter it in some way So maybe you're gonna need to change the curve of the furniture. You will need to do something in order to adapt it to your environment. This is exactly the same thing with the tips and tricks you find online, or any kind of exercise for that matter. You will need to adjust things to work for yourself. Most of the time, it will not work as is, or maybe it's going to work for a certain period of time, and maybe because of life events, maybe because of other priorities, maybe because of your mental state, you will have to adapt this to your new context. And this is not about making excuses, being lazy, procrastinating necessarily. This is understand, okay, why do I feel lazy? What is difficult for me? Why do I procrastinate? And understanding that there are many things that can make it hard to finish an illustration or even to get to drawing that are not necessarily linked to your will to do it, nor to your ability to do it, nor to your motivation. Sometimes there are other things around that makes it difficult, and if you take it into account, then you can start thinking about how to work your way around it to make it easier for yourself. And just as I said, I realized, okay, sometimes what I need is to have my tablet with me at all time, with my drawing that I'm currently working on hand, and I will only draw one stroke, paint one area, and maybe it's gonna take 5 minutes at a time, and maybe it's gonna take months to finish, but at least I'm doing consistent work on it. So even if it's small, one step at a time, I'm doing something. Sometimes I will have a 5-hour session because I have free time, because I organize myself to have this free time, and it works, and I can draw. And sometimes I would say, okay, I only have 10 minutes, or I really don't want to draw, but I'm gonna just draw 10 minutes, and then I enjoy the process and I draw for an hour. That's how it works for me. I think it's important to get past the guilt one feel for not trying enough, because then you don't do anything, you're just guilt tripping yourself, you're just ranting about this dissatisfaction you feel over not being able to do the thing you want to do, rather than trying to make it easier for yourself and moving forward. And that's possible when I stop overthinking every step of the way and I just draw. So yeah, that's all for today's rant. Let's be creative.